Hello there, everybody. This is Cholera, and welcome to a commentary of a game that was played a little bit of time ago. This is Lomo versus Kwanro, playing together in the MST Survivor group, in the final match of this group, actually. And this was played a few weeks ago in the MSL Survivor Tournament. The reason why I'm doing this is because many of you have requested this game, and I'll be honest, I really don't have enough time to do a lot of full series nowadays, so I really just, I pick names that I like, and I do those games, and then I take requests. And if a couple people request a certain game, it might end up getting done. So, you know, this is very exciting for me. Hopefully for you guys, you guys will enjoy this game. Now, Lomo and Kwanro, both of these players are, well, first off, Motrap likes both of these players, but anyway, both of these players have a little bit of history with one another. Lomo and Kwanro actually faced off in the Arena MSL last year, and Lomo actually came out ahead in that little in the two games they played in the round of 16, managing to help knock out Kwanro. Lomo went on to lose to Flash in a nice 3-2 series. That was pretty interesting to watch. But you know, Lomo and Kwanro both are these sort of unorthodox players. You know, part of the reason why Motrap likes them so much is because they showed a lot of promise in the past. Kwanro, of course, had his gum removed, and no, I'm sorry, Lomo, of course, had his gum removed, and Kwanro, well, I don't know. Kwanro has been kind of hanging out there on Sejantis, you know, not necessarily playing all that great, though, to be absolutely honest. Both of these players really have not yet proven themselves to be A-class players or solid players with a lot of you know, skilled and a good contention for a title. But you know, certainly this could change. And meanwhile, we are going to be watching the second time they're facing each other in this series. Also, in the first game, Kwanro actually managed to win on Byzantium 3, and we fast forwarded a little bit, and now we're on the final game, Destination here, the only game of this group I'm going to cast. Alongside were Pure and GG Play, and I believe GG Play got knocked out in Game 4, which means Pure actually managed to leave the group. Surprising a little bit, because Pure has been also another player who's been kind of quiet recently, despite being pretty good in Pro League, in the past at least. Anyway, we are seeing, of course, Kwanro at the bottom, Lomo at the top. I have done at least one Kwanro video, I believe, where Kwanro pulls off some of his awesome micro. It's very aggressive micro. Fighting off a 8 racks with a 12 hatch with all of his drones basically, and not only fighting it off without sustaining that much damage, chasing all the Marines back into the opponent's base, and then subsequently killing the opponent off with his drones and lings. That was just ridiculous. So looks like Kwanro is going to also be a little bit safe here. As you can see, he was scouting the inside of his base to see if of his natural expansion, to see if there was some kind of proxy going on from Lomo. Looks like Lomo is not going to wall in here. That's interesting. Usually, when we don't see a wall in, I think it's a little more likely for there to be a non-mech build, but as I say that, there goes the gas. So I guess he is just going to go for a mech build, but not going to go for a standard wall in, which is what Terrans usually do, because they're afraid of the early ling pressure. Looks like Kwanro is going to go for a 12 hatch here, and 11 pool, of course. Well, actually, yeah, there he goes, and he's going to move another drone out, probably to put down the 3rd hatchery, or maybe to get some scouting information. Actually, right now, it would seem probably to get some scouting information. So yeah, Lomo definitely has been slumping. Kwanro, I wouldn't say has been slumping as much, but just not being spectacular. I mean, Kwanro, really, I have not seen him play that much recently, but he has actually been on a little bit of a streak now that I'm looking at his last couple of games. Whereas Lomo has been kind of like 3-10 or something like that in his last 10 games. Of course, that, you know, by itself doesn't mean so much, but just I haven't cast a lot of games, and part of the reason is because they haven't been playing that great. Anyway, it looks like Kwanro is actually going to transfer a whole lot of drones here, and Lomo is setting up a factory in a forward position that I gotta think Kwanro knows about it, although it's possible he doesn't, or it's possible he knows about it, but just doesn't want to act like he knows about it. I really cannot tell. I think if he knows about it, he's just basically one hex away from not knowing about it, or vice versa. Anyway, it looks like a Marine is out and an SCV inside of Kwanro's natural expansion, despite the fact that that Lomo went Supply Depot first, it looks like he is going to put up a little bit of pressure here with that forward barracks location, and now Lings are out. It looks like it's going to be fine, though. The defense of Kwanro is very good. Actually, I'm not sure. Was that actually an 8-racks? That actually might have been an 8-racks there. Sorry, I was busy looking up stats for both of these players because those Marines arrived awfully fast, or maybe Lomo was just a little bit, I'm sorry, Kwanro was just a little bit slow on getting his spawning pool down. But he does know that it's a mech build coming up because guess what? Even if he didn't see it, every Zerg has to prepare for a mech build here. Every Terran does a mech build. And oh, what we're going to see is actually, looks like those were 2 starports, so it's going to be 2-port rates here coming from Lomo. And we've got Kwanro being aggressive, putting some pressure up front. I don't think he knows about the proxy factory, in fact, because if he knew about it, he would be trying to attack it right now. And instead, he's just going for the front, not going to get in. Meanwhile, the factory is being lifted and probably brought back into the base. Kwanro is actually going for a pretty early den there before he puts down the lair, and I guess he suspects something like this. Actually, I like this play from Kwanro. He hasn't gone for a 3-hatchery opening, in fact. Instead, he's going to go for maybe a couple of Hydras right now and just try to break the front. Either way, if he goes for a lair, that means that he's just getting the den down to protect himself against possible rates or more vulture drop or a vulture drop or something like that. But if he doesn't, then if he doesn't go for lair, that means he's probably just going to go for a lot of Hydralisks. And we'll see what happens here. It's interesting because Kwanro isn't really making that much. He might be actually going for Hydras, that means, because he's probably just getting the speed upgrade. And now he is going to know what's going on. He's going to see the Wraith, so he's going to know it's a Wraith rush. And Lomo, of course, has very good Wraith micro, I have to say. And we've seen that in the past, actually. I believe that is part of the reason why he is a cool player to watch, why Moletrap and Diggity like him. And we'll see, you know. I haven't actually checked if he's chewing his gum, by the way. Believe it or not, Lomo's brain is directly connected into his jaw. If his jaw is not moving, his brain actually ceases to be able to pump oxygen through. Well, basically, yeah, he can't deliver oxygen to his brain if he's not chewing gum. Anyway, looks like 2 rates out. And meanwhile, an attack coming from the aggressive Kwanro. Kwanro going to move forward with 2 Hydras and a bunch of Lings, but Lomo smartly has put up that bunker, which looks like it might save him. However, it might not save his barracks. Those Hydralisks can definitely outrange those Marines right now. And, oh my goodness, what the hell is going on? Lomo! Lomo! Not chewing gum! And he messes up! Whoa, what was that? Alright, that was just, obviously, that was just a mistake there, a misclick, but that hurts, man. I mean, doing that misclick, getting all of your SCVs not working, and taking a few seconds to put your command center down, that's not fun. That's like losing an SCV or 2, basically, just from those, like, 10 seconds there of screw-up.